I think how involved is Peter with the movement? Has he got any interest in the actual this level of the movement, like the branding and growth of the chapters?
This is why I was asking to Jason, who is likely to
Sorry, I
know
had to
more
step away
about.
for a second.
Okay. We were wondering if Peter or the LA or California chapter were working on a branding, or so to go out more intensively with the branding all over the world, so to have kind of a world project.
But let me just put this out there. I'm listening. I heard the first part of what Cliff was talking about before I got pulled away. But we have this now. Look, we have a worldwide campaign around impacting the social value system, which is different in every country, every state, and every town. And that happens based on who volunteers, what skill set you have, and how good you are at understanding this material and communicating out. We do have a brand, the Zeitgeist movement. Not like a commercial brand, but we have TZM. We have a lot of artwork. I mean, I just did a Zeitgeist Media Festival here where it was full of basically the branding. It was full of the logos and the social commentary and people's interpretations of consumption waste and the monetary system and these kinds of problems. We have it now. It's not missing. So, as Peter comes out with his films, of course, just like Zeitgeist moving forward, there will probably be a huge surge of interest, and we're all going to get involved because it's exciting, and that's going to help us, reach new people. But we need this. We're doing this stuff now. I know that sometimes it feels like nothing's happening because we're waiting on somebody else to provide it for us. But the chapters are independent. Peter's not involved in the chapters right now.
Yeah,
For the last year, we've been on our own.
yeah, that. Unfortunately, I think you can see quite clearly that the meetings and the chapters and stuff, basically pretty much all dissolved. There's no denying that. So coming back with, this kind of scenario that everybody's independent and all this stuff, that's probably one of the first things, is that everybody shouldn't be independent. Obviously, that's not really working. And there's no denying the fact that the chapters have pretty much all been dissolved. There's very few people on TeamSpeak here, and there used to be hundreds. So there's obviously something that needs to be done there, and it needs to be addressed honestly and truthfully. It can't be addressed with this kind of, that there's this branding that's in place here, that everything is just fine, and that when the movie comes out, there'll be this interest, but it's just, what is it? We're just throwing it off to as if it's just some random thing that can't be addressed, because obviously companies all over the world address it very well, but there's something strongly missing from this scenario.
Well, I mean, I think what I hear is that, the numbers has had impact on you. Look, California has chapters. I have meetings. There's activism going on. I know that seems to be outside the norm. I don't know why. Yes, there used to be a lot more interest, and it also used to be a lot more noisy, if you understand what I mean by noisy. We had 1,000 people in here bickering and arguing. Now I find, at least with where I participate, it's much more focused. We understand the concepts. We understand the problem with the socioeconomic system, and we're out there engaging people. Do we have huge numbers right now? No, we don't. I guess I would have to see what you mean by branding, and I've forgotten what your discussions entailed exactly, but I don't know. I guess I would have to see what you're talking about, because just to say we need branding, I mean, I see branding already. If you're looking for numbers, I don't have that to give to you right now. But also, I'm not waiting on Peter, and I know I have my own critique. I have my own critique on Peter's move out of being involved with the chapters, and it caused its own problem, and I saw some dissipation and disconnectedness with the different websites and blah, 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 shutting down the forum, even way back then. And I also know that right now he's not involved. We are sort of driving this thing. We're not Peter Joseph,
No,
and I got that.
it's got it's got nothing to do with being Peter Joseph or anything like that. And shutting down the forums and shutting down all this stuff didn't address how to make it better. It just shut it down. That's all it did. We're not doing anything to make it better or find a solution to the problem. If you have 1,000 people online, then you need to find a way to make 1,000 people. There was lots of problems to say. I mean, when this whole thing started, years back, there was a ton of problems that were just simply out of the gate handled extremely poorly. And when solutions and things were picked up at the time, they were never addressed properly. They were just kind of fluffed off to the side. So I guess that's all I'm looking at is there talks or anything in the way for 2016 to start looking at, okay, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to maybe, corral this thing back around and start building slowly? Doesn't matter. But it does need to have some, how do you pick up momentum again? What kind of things can be in place to get people involved? And by branding,
Sure.
I don't mean a word that's out there. By branding, I mean, something that connects everybody at the same level, which is always,
Okay. I can tell you what's most useful right now, and that's creating media. And it doesn't matter if it's an article or a picture or a series of photographs or a radio show or a video that's related to expressing this stuff. And I've seen some really good work come through over the last 2 years. If we're not out there creating content, we're creating nothing, okay? And, like Stella was engaging the school. That's a really good idea. Casey, hi Casey, did a media festival, and they posted about it. I can't tell you how many people have taken actions, and it's not recorded, which means after the event, the actions never existed, and we have nothing. So we need to be creating this content. We need to be, whether it's whatever you can do, it's volunteer, but, making use of the resources that we have. We have a book. I know I'm talking a lot because I have to run. I'm sorry, Cliff. I got to get out of here. So
That's no problem, Jason. All I was going to say was that I think that that one of the things that we tried to bring up and look at a long time ago was exactly what you said. There are people out there doing stuff. But if the other people around the world can't connect with it, that they can't learn from it and grow from it, and nothing is being recorded. And I always thought and said that the Zeitgeist movement main page, number one, the main page should be really a gallery of everything that's happening around the world. When you go there, you should be able to click on it and see all the stuff that's happening. And it's always been kind of disappointing that was never done because people, that it has to be there and people have to see that. That's how people are going to say that, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff going on around the world.
Correct. And right now, I can tell you that the YouTube channel is the YouTube channel is filling that role right now.
So to leave the main one, the zeitgeistmovement.com as the institutional one, if you will, and then make another one with all the activities.
Well, I think that if things I think one of the problems is that there's maybe too many websites, and so people aren't going to go looking. That's the problem, is that people on the street, and again, everybody doesn't have to be an activist. That was the point from the beginning, is everybody doesn't have to be an activist. It's only going to be maybe a handful of people, at best, maybe a handful of people that will be in an active chapter. And even then, they'll it'll be 3, 4, 5 people at most that will make up a core team. And those are the guys who are dedicated. There's nothing you can do to stop those guys. They'll be there day in, day out, snow, sun, whatever. They'll be there. And those are the people who you count on and rely on. But what you want to do is you want to reach people. You want that core team to be able to get out there and reach as many people as possible so people just have the information. Obviously, all this online stuff works great. YouTube, Netflix is great. A lot of people have told me on the street that they saw Zeitgeist for the first time because, they love watching documentaries on Netflix, and those kind of things are great. What it is just becoming this street presence so that people will associate with it, and they'll see that this thing is happening. Like this is where the branding comes in. But I also think that if somebody says, I saw this movie, zeitgeistmovement.com. It says at the end of Zeitgeist Addendum, go to join the movement, go to zeitgeistmovement.com. If they go there, they should be able to find almost everything. They're not going to look around for all these other things. There's very few people who dig that deep. You have to make things so simple for the simple people on this planet. People are so simple. They don't have that kind of time to search things out. Very few people will do that. And so you need to have things at their most simplistic, down to earth, easy to reach sort of ways that it's easy for people to connect and learn about stuff and connect with things. So I always thought that to access all the global chapters should be off the main site, even if it's a link. To access all the art and video should be off the main site, even if it's a link. To access all the projects or anything like that should be off the main site.
I'd like to make a comment if I could, please.
Yeah, sure.
He's talking about chapters and lack of engagement and lack of branding. I think I agree with Jason that there's plenty of branding out there, but the chapter activity is certainly, at least in this country, at a kind of a low ebb of wherever it's been over the years. However, just as a side note, my website, the Zeitgeist North Carolina website, I'm looking at the statistics here, and just in January, I had 27,000 anonymous views of that website. It's linked from the global page to the North Carolina State Chapter. So, there's still a huge amount of interest in what's going on. It's just not translating into active chapters in some way.
Right. I agree.
Casey.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I've just been sitting back quietly today because I wasn't really prepared today. It's actually the morning of New Year's Eve here. I'm about to go out to a festival, so I'm a little bit disorganized. I'm very sorry. I just came back from holiday too, so I don't really have too much to report, although I could probably share my opinion about the conversation that I entered a little bit late.
Sure.
Yeah, so from what I understand, is it Clint, the Canadian guy?
Yeah, Cliff, yeah.
Oh, Cliff. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so from what I understand, he was saying we really do need to update the website so that it's easy for people to navigate. And I would agree 100% with that. And I don't know, did you guys discuss why that's not happening, or who is actually responsible for that?
Well, the new NPO that has been created in Los Angeles, it's what is it? 503? No, I can't remember the number. It's an NPO that should let's say start to be active and work on all the websites we have.
Oh, wow. That would be amazing. It would be, I can just imagine how many more hits we would get, especially on the Australian website, if we were able to, if it was accessible directly from the homepage of the zeitgeistmovement.com.
I don't know what they are going to do, but surely I will link you the radio show Peter Joseph did about talking about this project. So I know it's taking a little bit long as usual, but once in place, it should work, I hope.
As long as we're still moving along, that's the main thing, I suppose.
But also, we have to understand that Peter is out. So Peter is just the founder. He won't get involved in this, we cannot wait for him. The only project he get involved It's in the main CD. And that's it. So this is up to us to make it happen. So I am open and I would like to get involved to any team up there, the coordinators or person involved in the chapters, that wants to slowly put in the paper ideas to create at least 2 projects annually, and every 6 months we try to get involved in the chapters and do it. Besides that, it's good to have a website separate from the global, but with a link on the global on that project. They call the global TCM global projects or whatever you want to call it. So in that website, we describe the project, we give you the tool to the project, the description, and also the people, the chapter who is doing this project have access to put it videos or photos or whatever they do on that project. And then we do the same thing in the next project using the same website. So just one website separate from the global where we can manage, because we cannot let the Peter is busy. Peter has no time for that. So we have to want the leader in the project and make it happen.
I just wonder why this website has to be separate from the zeitgeistmovement.com website.
Because we can manage it faster and we can update it faster. Peter has no time for that.
So Peter won't give over the rights to that website?
Just Peter put the link in the global. They say, okay, global projects, chapter global project here. Like the links we have for the voice chat, the link we have for the chapter hubs, the same thing. So when the person click there, go to the project. So with more description, the picture, the videos, Or we can add it out. I don't know if we can add it out to the global hub, maybe. So I don't know. But I mean, we can do just very simple WordPress website. That doesn't have to be nothing complicated. Very simple, the way we're talking now. So try to explain the most simple way the thing to the people. No? So the same thing. It's a very simple website. They just to promote it. The global project, the unified global project, not individual project of the chapter. So don't get confused. This is unified global project the chapters are doing in this year. And how many are doing? Maybe 2 or 1, but whatever it is. So just right there. So nobody get lost in translation, clicking there. No, just everything is there.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I definitely agree with that 100%. I think that'd be so much easier for everybody. But I really think it should be the zeitgeistmovement.com page, especially when you have the movies that say at the end of the movies, join the movement, go to this website, and you've got that on so many different resources. I think we need to be able to get people to access it as soon as they are emotionally affected by those movies.
Well, but yeah, that's what I say. When people go to the website, they see the link of the chapter hubs. The chapter hubs is not inside the global website. It's a link. So when they click it, the same thing with the media's websites. No, so it's the same thing. People will see there. People that don't have to navigate it within the global website to find out. No, you open the whole page of the global project the chapter are doing. You know what I mean? So they just go to the global chapter for that project only. Do you understand the difference?
Not really.
Okay, so if you right now go to the global website, on the right column, you see a few subtitles there, no? You see global chapters, voice chat, this and that, no? If you click to the global chapters, you're gonna go to the chapter hubs, not to the global website. Can you see that? Just do it now, you will see.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Okay, the same thing. So in that column, we put a link, they say, a subtitle, they say, I don't know, global chapters, unified global chapters happening now or something. So people click there and then they go to the website where it's explain the whole thing. So the idea is we have the freedom to update it as soon as that comes, So that's one of the reasons we have the chapter page and Facebook, so we can add it out ourselves. We don't have to wait for Peter, so we don't have to wait for the website to update. It's a lot of things out the day in that website for years. It's nobody's taking care of that. You know what I mean? So if many chapters that the link doesn't work, that goes to China selling underwear, so we have to find a way. We have to solve the problem. If nobody inside the website solve the problem, so then we find a way linking, because it's gonna be official action anyway. So it's nothing outside the movement, but in some way we can manage, we can update it faster,
You're talking about the global chat, the TZM chapters portal, right?
Yeah, well, as example, which is a link that you see in a global website. In a global website, like I say, in the right column, down, more or less down, you see some click there. You click in the hubs, the chapter, you go to the hub of the chapter, which is not inside the global chapter. So something like that, just for the chapters, for the project, or this project unify of the chapter I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the individual projects the chapter are doing. No, that we already have that. We already have it in the chapter hub, but nobody goes there and fill it up. So there is not much we can do. I'm talking to create a very simple WordPress website just for this global project, which every or most of the chapters are doing. So before we do that, we need the small team, they get commitment to do this, not just exciting and 2 weeks after people get lost and no. So people really want commitment. They really believe in this idea, put the ideas on the paper, and when we choose which one and why, we explain, we describe, and then we start to promote it. We start to do it.
However, I think that we need to sort out this issue. I mean, making a decision about this. So I hope very soon we're gonna have the management of the websites, the updates, I mean new projects, and hopefully with the new year, all this is gonna work.
Can I make a comment about this?
Yeah.
As I look at the global website, there at the bottom of the top page of the front page of the global website, there's a list on the left side of the international chapters, and there's a list on the right side of the state chapters. I get a lot of click-throughs to the North Carolina State chapter because it's listed there. But a lot of these links, especially in the state chapters in the U.S., I'm not sure about the country chapters, but I suspect they're defunct. They're not active. They're not working. And it took me a while to get my North Carolina website activated. That happened several years ago since then. But that's why I still get a lot of probably viewing traffic going through Zeitgeist North Carolina, because it's one of the few websites that's still active. From what I'm understanding that is being suggested here, maybe simplifying this whole process would help us to both manage the chapter websites as well as make this more efficient. For instance, if we had not a link to all these various chapters down here, but only one link somewhere very prominent on the front page to the chapters website. And then from the chapters website, we can have references to local websites like the Zeitgeist North Carolina website, or even more local websites, can all be linked from that central chapters hub. I think that's what's being suggested here. Am I not correct?
Well, in some way you're right. In some way, but you're talking about another issue, no? But I agree with you, because we have that problem not just for a U.S. chapter. We have a chapter that gone a long time ago, and the link stay there. So when you click there, you go to China. They're selling, I don't know, underwear or whatever. No? So I mean, personally, I'm trying to update the chapter hub I can say almost done. The only I'm waiting is for the US. No, it's ironic, but yeah, I'm waiting for US. They give me the links, the update links, no, to update the hubs, the chapter hubs, not the website. The global website, that's Peter. We have no access to that. There's nothing we can do. He is the only one who can update it. So you have to just send it directly to him. I think the submission at the secondmovie.com, that is the website, the email or whatever. But the chapter, I can do that. The chapter.
You're talking about the chapters portal.
Yes, they have. No chapter photo. The chapter hubs. The one is the one that Joanna put in the chat. That website. So I need the coordinator of the US to give you the access so he can add it up and update the chapters there. So
we don't have a US coordinator actively right now.
Yeah, we have Reva, no?
Yeah, but she's not active.
Yeah, well, I heard a few things. She got back to me and she said she gonna capture after this weekend. So I'm waiting for her. Yeah. Maybe the easy way is just add it out to the chapter hubs. It's already done. I think that's the best way to do it. And forget about another chapter because the link of the hubs, the chapter hubs, is already in the global website. No, so.
Do you have a link? Can you share that link?
Actually, it's in the global website, but I'm gonna put it for you.
Well, the only thing I have a link to is the Global Chapters portal, the TZM Chapters portal. That's what they call it. It's not Chapters Hubs.
Go where that link you see in the right column called Chapter Portal and click there. Which is the same Giovanna put in the chat.
Yeah, tzmchapters.net.
That's the TZM Chapters portal. That's what I've been talking about.
Yeah, well, exactly. So that link is separate from the global website. That is not inside the global website. That is a link. That's what I'm talking about the global projects of the chapters. To make it simple, so we can have that page, that section on that website. So we don't have to create another one.
Well, I think that the TZM Chapters portal is definitely a good start, and this could be a focus for chapters. But I think that part of it is that this has not had a lot of use, and I think a large part of the reason is because you've got the links to all these other chapters from the global website. So people are kind of going around this rather than going through it. If we want to make this a central chapter focus, then we need to remove the stuff that links to all the other individual chapters from the global portal, all the national chapters, all the local state chapters in the U.S. All those things should be simplified down and just have one link on the global website. And I'm sure we could probably get Peter to do that at some point. I mean, I'm not sure when, but that would be at least a good step, I think, towards focusing the chapter's attention in the chapters portal. And the chapters portal is a good site in general, I think.
Yeah, you're right. That is the second step. I'm just waiting for the US to give me the whatever update they have, and I'll update the chapter hubs, and then go back to Peter to say, okay, Peter, so you have no time to do this, so I have the solution for you. Just delete those chapters you have on the website and just leave it the chapter hubs. So doing so, we can update that. So the users, the public in general, always going to have the update chapters. We stop receiving those emails in the global email inbox. The people say, oh, I want to enjoy New Zealand, but when I click there, I go to China. And, you know what I mean? So, and then we have to respond back to say, you know what, please, we noticed that. Go to chapter hubs. You can have the update of the chapters, no? The updates of the chapters. No? So.
Well, when I go to the TZM Chapters portal and I click on the U.S., it takes you to the U.S. Chapters website, which nobody maintains and hasn't since Jen was doing it, I think. And it doesn't have any links there at all to any of the state chapters. So, the whole thing is broken in terms of the chain from top to bottom, unless this is filled in.
But that's for coordinators only. I believe so. Is that correct?
Yes, that's been my understanding of it. It's never been a public site. So you have a link.
That's not working for the public. That's only working for the people already involved. So no, yeah.
Right, but what good does it do to link there if you can't get through to the North Carolina website from the chapters portal? I think we should, every local chapter, no matter how small, should have a link at some place within the hierarchy of the chapters portal. That would unify the whole global chapter system.
Yeah, I mean, yes, one link for the global website that goes to the hubs chapters, and from there, every coordinator, that's the idea, that's the job of the coordinator, have access inside that website and add chapters there and the map. So as soon you see you go to the United States, you see all the chapters there, people click, boom, a website, if there is a website, or maybe there is only a page on Facebook, or whatever they have, no? So everything centralized.
So it's only going to be from the map. That's where the only links you'll find will be on the map.
Yes. But to put in the map, the coordinator will have access. The national coordinator of that country will have access, like Armenia has, and they can add up sub-chapters or city chapters, or maybe there is a chapter in a university. They can add it up too, so it's fine.
So what you're saying, Gary, is that you, being you, the North Carolina national coordinator, you don't have access to the tzmchapters.net. Is that correct?
No, I do. I have access, and I have my chapter as penned in North Carolina there. It's just that I would think that rather than have the U.S. chapter link down here, linking to a page that has no public interest, since we're talking about creating a chapters hub where people who are interested in chapters or starting chapters is going to click through this, that link should only be the U.S. chapters link. At the very least should link to active chapters. So, it should link to state chapters that are active, in the United States, as with every other country here, should have. I'm talking about the text link as well as the map link. I understand that the map link is working that way, but if I wanted to click on a country within the map link, I couldn't do that. For instance, if I wanted to click on Libya here or Egypt, I won't get anything. I won't get anything saying there are no chapters in Egypt, and there should be something that does that. So if there is a chapter in Egypt, then that needs to be linked and added here. Do you understand what I'm saying? If we want to centralize all this structure, we need to simplify it as much as possible and make it obvious to anybody that comes on here. They're not going to be misguided to something that's not going to be relevant to them at all, but will click through until they can get to the most local level, at which way they can find out whether there's a chapter active there or not, more locally for them. If there's not, maybe they want to get active in their country at the national level or at the state level or whatever level it comes into focus for them at. But they could find that out by clicking through the chapters, and they'll see where there's active chapters, where there are not active chapters, and they can decide whether there's a place that fits in for them if they're interested in chapters at all, which would be why they would be at this chapter's website, the portal website, in the first place.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna keep doing that, and I'll see if Reva get back to me soon. I don't know, maybe this in January sometimes, and with the whole thing. Once I have the whole thing, I email Peter to see, his feedback, hoping he does that. He just delete the whole thing and just leave the chapter hubs on the main. So once people click there, goes to a chapter hubs, so we can control it, we can update it, so people want to have the real situation of the chapters, So
this is our our next job for next year.
Well, I've been doing that, but the only thing I was waiting just for the US, because I can do it now, and then when US is done, and then I go back again. I can do that too, But I'm just waiting for everything. I might even started to do it before that, just in case, Yeah.
I guess my main question is regarding, it just seems like we're avoiding the biggest barrier, and my understanding of that is it takes too long for things to get approved to go up on the zeitgeistmovement.com website, in that it has to go back to Peter, even though he's not very active at the moment. Am I correct?
Yeah, if you are talking about the website, yes, yeah, it has no time. And by the way, that movie he's gonna release, the movie he's gonna release, that's his movie. So I don't want people get excited thinking they're gonna be a chapter material because the trilogy of the Psychic is gone. The last one was moving forward, and he said that very clear. So that interreflection, that his movie, we has nothing to do with the movie.
Can I just finish my point? Sorry, it's just if Peter doesn't have enough time to sign off on the website, couldn't he give it over to someone that he trusts, or someone else who has time for it? Because I don't think he realizes, like, this is the biggest stress. This is what's making it most difficult, is that he's not putting his faith in the coordinators around the world in order to maintain that website. Why does he need to sign off on everything? Like, he's busy enough. Why doesn't he hand that over? Like, delegation, right? Delegation is the key as a coordinator. I know that myself. If you don't have enough time for something, you say, okay, this guy here, this girl here, they can do this. So I honestly, if that can get back to Peter, I think that's the biggest point, is just maybe gently suggest handing that over, because he's too busy, and this is to his detriment, because he's not allowing that website to get updated. There are several people who are starting to watch the films now, especially this time of year, and they're going to this shonky site that's no good, that just makes people uninterested. So I don't know. That would be my advice to Peter.
Yeah, I think you got a point. And then the first step is to let Peter knows about the issues, because, like you say, maybe he doesn't even know. So that's the first point. But I mean, in that point, I think he's getting a little better, because the YouTube channel, I think now Jason and there is another guy, he's involved, so they can upload his videos. Before that was only Peter. So slowly, I think he's he's giving some access, no? But yeah. And another thing, I think he has to know that. So someone has to make him aware of the problem, no? And then, so he might take some action, no?
Yeah, I suppose, but he really needs to understand. Like, isn't he someone who would constantly fight the status quo? And at the moment, I see the status quo is keeping the website as it is, as if taking a risk to allow us to do something else with the website that he necessarily wouldn't have, reign over, as if that would possibly be worse than what's happening at the moment. Just keeping the status quo is the worst possible thing. I guess he's just human, but I just see that as I think he needs to take more risks and stop being so scared of everyone else screwing things up, because at the moment we have such really good coordinators and people who really understand the concepts, and we really, really care about it, and we want to be trusted. And I think that's the biggest problem.
So, yeah, maybe we just, I will try to move, to make this thing, moving on, and, try to get some work done, on this.
Yeah, because I think the main focus is making sure we have access to the global website so that we can make it as accessible and easy as possible for anyone who does come across the Zeitgeist movement. We want to get people involved, and I think that's great that you want to create that portal for TZM chapters and everything like that, but I feel like we're not fighting the biggest problem here, which is access to the global website and the navigation of that global website. So I honestly think that's priority number one.
We're talking about more than one problem.
Well, I think that what you want to do, Victor, could be done on the global website. That's what I mean. That's why I think, that needs to be sorted first, so that you can do it from global rather than from a separate link, because the more things that people have to click, the less likely they are to go there.
Well, but I was suggesting at the end, I changed my mind, maybe thinking that make it the thing simple because we already have the chapter hubs, which is a chapter net, whatever. Just put it there instead of create another, no? And the link is already in the global anyway, so yeah.
No, because people will be like, what are chapters? What are chapter hubs? I don't know what that is. When they're new, they have no idea, but they want to check out what's going on in their country. So what they want to see is like a link to whatever country or whatever state, or they want to see that link right there on global. That's what I mean. Or if they want to get involved in projects that, I don't know, I just think if you have to go from zeitgeistmovement.com to chapters and then to the next point, that extra click in between will lose you like a whole lot of people.
But also you can do this. You delete the links of the chapter at the bottom of the website and just put it a long, I don't know, long banner that say what the Zeitgeist movement chapters are doing. Just right there. So, or where my chapters are, or whatever. And you just click there and you just go to the chapter hubs and you get everything there related with the chapters.
Yeah, true. I guess if you took away, especially the broken links, but if you took away all of the different locations, then yeah, I think that could definitely be more effective. But once again, I still think the most effective thing will be to sort out access to global in the long term. I guess you have to try and sort that out. But yeah, anyway, that's my 2 cents.